Right, so now on to sailing. Getting into the boat. Doing this was fairly easy for me, as when I did it I already had someone in the boat. This meant it was a lot more stable for me to do, to be able to just step into. However, I could see from my partner getting into the boat was a lot more of a struggle, as it was very windy, so the sail was catching in the wind, blowing the boat around a lot, making it unbalanced as he stepped in. Using the tiller. The tiller was the piece of equipment attached to the rudder that we had to steer the boat from. When we were given a demonstration of how to use the tiller, we were told to push it away from us when we were turning. This was to stop the boom from swinging round as fast when we tacked, and it gave us more time to switch sides of the boat. At the start there were a few times when I forgot about this, but usually was able to recorrect myself before we had fully turned and the boom already started to swing round, or because my partner saw the mistake I was making and stopped me. I would class this as a strength of mine, as I made a few mistakes and me and my partner did not capsize the boat once, and generally was good at turning. Sailing towards the wind. This is where the boat is facing upwind as it travels, meaning the wind in the sail is causing resistance to slow down. So to slow down, you want to let the sail out more to make a larger surface area of the sail, to slow it down or pull the sail in to create more power and travel faster. I was quite good at this, despite the fact I didn't control the sail much. I mostly steered, but was helping my partner to control the sail, to tell him when we needed more or less power, if we were going too fast or not fast enough. You could argue, therefore, that this was a weakness of mine, as our speed was very varied, so I could try to work out the best position to have the sail in order to get the most air resistance on the sail to speed us up. Tacking into the wind. This is where you have to switch which side of the boat you are sitting on, due to the fact that as you turn, the sail is going to swing round, so you have to sit on the opposite side to the sail to evenly balance out the distribution of weight so you don't capsize. I felt that this was quite hard, as you had to do a few things at once, including pushing the tiller away from you to turn the boat, scampering to the other side of the boat while staying low to make sure the boom doesn't smack you in the face, all while trying to look ahead to make sure you don't sail into another boat or turn past 180 degrees and begin to start going round in circles. I thought this was a strength of mine, as we did not capsize once, meaning that I must have been doing this fairly well, and overall did feel myself that I did this well, as I was usually able to keep us going in a straight line after we turned. Moving in the boat to support tacking. When moving in the boat, I didn't always find it easy, as it had to be done quickly and you had to stay very low, which, due to my height and size, is not easy. But after a few turns, I worked out the system, which made it a lot easier. I also found it hard to keep steering while moving in the boat, as you had to switch which hand you were steering with and keep one hand on the tiller to complete a smooth 180-degree turn. But obviously, this meant I only had one free hand to help myself move in the boat. But again, overall, thought this was a strength of mine, as I did this quite well and was usually able to keep us going in a straight line once we'd turned. Steering. I found it relatively easy steering, but I did not obviously but it did obviously get a bit harder when trying to turn the boat, as I had to move to the other side of the boat at the same time. There were also a few times when turning was difficult, as me and my partner had not picked up enough speed, so the turn wasn't a smooth, fast turn, as we'd stopped halfway round. So then we just had to wait for the wind to blow the boat the rest of the way round. You could therefore argue that this was a weakness of mine, as for it to be a strength, I'd have need to nail it every single time we performed it. So this would probably, I say, be an area of improvement from me. When capsized. When sailing, me and my partner didn't capsize, so we did not find ourselves in this position. However, if we had been in the position, we were told to walk to the front of the boat and grab the rope at the front of the boat to stop the boat from blowing away from us, and it would make it easier to get back into it if one of us was holding it. Teamwork. When sailing, communication with my partner was very good. I would say it was probably one of the reasons we did not capsize, as we were always talking to each other, telling one another what we were going to do before we did it. This meant the other person could prepare themselves. For example, each time before I turned, I would tell my partner, so did not get surprised once we started turning. This, I would say, was a strength of us both and helped us to improve our teamwork as we went through. When sailing, I felt that I had a few different strengths. One being that my communication and teamwork between my partner and I was very good. As if one of us lost our concentration when controlling the sail or steering, we both knew what to say to each other and knew what the others should have been doing. I also felt I was good when steering, as each time we turned around, I made sure I took wide turns and pushed the tiller away from me, meaning that the boom would swing round slowly, so I gave myself more time to switch sides in the boat. On the whole, I felt that I was fairly good at steering, but there was one weakness within sailing where I found myself in the same situation a few times, despite knowing how to avoid it. I found that sometimes when I turned, I did not have enough speed going into the turn, so I would turn halfway and then hover for a bit and turn very slowly. A few times this happened and was not actually my fault, though, as there were other boats in the way or that had capsized in front of me, meaning I had to slow down but then would not have enough speed when turning. There are different opportunities available for people wanting to get into sailing and practice it for a hobby or with the mindset of wanting to compete at an elite level. There are a few different opportunities in Brighton to practice and get taught more competitively to do it. In Brighton, the three main places to learn are the Hove Lagoon, Shoreham Sailing Club, and there are a few different clubs and organisations dedicated to sailing within the Brighton Marina. At Hove Lagoon, you can purchase memberships or pay for sessions privately when sailing. You can also expand your knowledge and ability by learning to sail in the open sea through the Hove Lagoon Watersports Company, just outside of the Brighton Marina. And you can take courses and earn different levels of certificates to better your knowledge and understanding when sailing. Although people may want to learn new skills and improve sailing due to the fact it requires some fairly rare equipment, environment to practice in, it isn't as simple as just going to the park and kicking a ball. Although there are a few in Brighton, so it won't take people long to travel to a sailing centre if you were to live in a more rural area of the country, you may find that you have to travel much further before you find somewhere you can go sailing. If you have big commitments like college or jobs or family, then this will mean you have very limited amounts of time where you'll be able to go sailing. Another thing stopping people could be the prices, as especially when sailing in the sea. Included in the cost of hiring kit, there is likely to be a high amount of money involved for insurance, as it is a very hard and dangerous sport, and if a minor things were to go wrong, the outcome could be very costly and devastating. In my development plan for sailing, my first session I'm going to do in the first week is going to be a one-to-one session with a qualified sailing instructor. This will be useful as although we have done a bit that was in a large group, so our instructor didn't have any time to do any one-to-one teaching to allow him to identify my strengths and weaknesses. But doing a one-to-one will allow me to get some proper teaching of the skills, and they will be able to tell me what I do well and how to work on the things I'm not so good at. I'm then going to have an open session where I will be with a group with an instructor, so I won't be able to have their undivided attention the entire session, but there will be someone there who can instruct me on particular things, and this time will be good for working on weaknesses to try to improve them. I will then use some time to watch videos of particular useful skills being done. This will allow me to get some more training in, where I get an explanation of the different skills but don't have to pay for a session. This would also be useful as I won't really need to make too much time for it, as I can just do it when it's convenient for me at home and doesn't take much effort as long as I'm taking in the information so I can use it for the next time I'm on the water. In the second week, I will then have another one-to-one session where I can work on the skills they would have shown me the week before and then practiced in the open session. And they can then give me some feedback on whether they feel I have improved or give me any pointers on how I can improve what I am doing. And if I am doing well, they could even give me some demonstrations of skills that are slightly harder to perform but more effective to further my knowledge and expertise. In the second week, I will then have another open session and open water session to again keep on practicing the skills I've been taught. As with a sport like sailing, the best way to get better is to practice, and most importantly, practice the things I'm not so good at. So then the next time I have a one-on-one, my instructor can be monitoring my performance when doing skills that I haven't been as good at in the past, so they can monitor my development. In the third week, I will start by doing a session from home where I'm watching videos of skills being performed, whether this is skills I'm already practicing so I can get a better understanding of the technique to use by watching a professional, or I could watch videos to learn about new skills that I haven't been taught yet. I will then the following day take part in an open water session to practice these skills. I have been watching the day before and indeed in the previous weeks. I will also have a flexibility and agility based training session in the gym. Both of these are very important for sailing, especially when sailing in the small two-man boats, as the space is very limited. So when trying to reposition myself to stable the boat, it usually be done smoothly and quickly. For example, when tackling, both agility and flexibility are required to stay low whilst trying to switch sides while keeping steering the whole time. This is a very hard thing to do in sailing, so maybe by practicing agility and flexibility, my tacking ability may be improved. In week 4, I will start with another one-to-one session, as I didn't have one the week before, so I cannot afford to have one every week, despite them being useful to get feedback and praise to give me things to work on, while giving me confidence when I'm performing as well. I will then have another open session followed by a video feedback session. This will be useful as I will be able to watch myself in action. This will be particularly useful to improve the areas I'm not as good at, and it is easier to see when I'm not doing something right when I'm watching myself do it, as I can compare it to how I've seen people performing it correctly and how they are doing it. In week 5, I'll then start with another open session where I can work on correcting some of the things I wasn't so good at when I watched myself back in the video analysis, and will use the time to improve in those areas. I will then do another agility and flexibility session to again try to improve these areas to hopefully improve my sailing in general. I will then the next day have another agility and flexibility session to again just keep on trying to improve them, and hopefully I'll begin to notice a difference when I'm applying them to sailing, and it will feel a lot smoother and easier to manoeuvre around the boat. I will finish the week with another open water session where I will hopefully notice a difference in my agility when moving in the boat, and my range of skills and way of performing them will hopefully be nailed down, apart from maybe a few little areas where maybe I'm not 100% getting it right every time. Into the final week, I will start with another video feedback just so I can look at the skills I still don't fully perform well, or the newer skills that I have started learning recently so I'm not as familiar with. I will then have my last one-to-one session development plan so I can discuss with my instructor which aspects of sailing they feel I'm getting better at and which aspects they still feel like I need to work on, and they will then be able to explain how I can perform better